Good afternoon, everybody. This is Tracy Armstrong coming to you for the second time today. Again, Tracy Armstrong from North Pittsburgh Greeting Company. I am the area's premier welcome wagon service. I welcome all the new homeowners and new businesses to the ever-growing North Pittsburgh area. I have had the pleasure of working with Pastor Christman for the past 5 years. He's the pastor of Oak Grove Church, located just a smidge outside Cranberry Township. And Pastor is going to give us a little bit about himself today and talk to us about his beautiful church and all the services it could help for you and your family. Pastor, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Tracy, and thank you so much for allowing me to do this with you. I appreciate it. And like you said, we've worked with you for the last several years, and it's been a blessing for us, and I thank you for the work you do.
Well, thank you so much. You, Karen, your whole staff are just a lovely, lovely group of people. Pastor, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? I know you're happily married. You have some children. Can you tell us about where you grew up and your wife and your family?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm actually not a Pittsburgh native. I know, but
We'll
we've been
give you some
living.
Steeler gear.
Oh yeah, we've been here 8 years now. So long enough to know the area, long enough to see Cranberry grow up, around us too. But yeah, I grew up actually in the eastern part of Washington State in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. So I grew up in a log house actually with my dad and mom and younger sister, and I have a much older brother that's still out there in that area. But yeah, I got called to ministry and went to seminary in the Midwest, and then called out to Western Pennsylvania. And the church is in has a Zelienople address, but it's one of those weird places where it's Zelienople address in New Swickley Township, but we're right on the edge, right on the border of Cranberry. I like to point out that I'm almost within walking distance of the Cranberry Walmart. We're that close.
You're just a stone's throw away, right off the Cranberry edge on Glen Eden Road. Very easy to find you. I've walked from my house to your church before, so it's a nice walk. It's a lovely place. Tell us about your family, Pastor.
Yeah, so I got the call to come to Zelienople, and of course, Zelia what? We had to look into it, and right away, my wife was on the computer trying to, we're of a generation that we went right to the computer for answers, so my wife was on the computer trying to figure out where we're at, and when I have an 8-year-old daughter, right, and so she was born just 2 months before we moved out here, so I think you could say she's a Pittsburgher. This is the world
she's a Pittsburgher.
Yep. And my son was 3 when we moved out here, so he's 11. And so I'm blessed. I'm very thankful to have my wife and my kids in my life, and they're a huge support to the work we do, and they're very much engaged in the life of the church. In fact, since COVID hit, I joke that my son is the worship leader because he is up here. On Sunday morning, he turns all the lights on in the church, and he gets everything up and going. At 11 years old, he manages all that. He's become the building manager, and I'm so thankful for him. He's
learning responsibilities.
Oh yeah,
that's wonderful.
Absolutely. Yeah, right, absolutely. So thankful for him in my life and the blessing that they are, and I'm also thankful because my son is my partner in crime, so to speak. We both enjoy being outside a lot, and we do my daughter usually comes with me, less lately because she broke her arm in a bike accident. So she's been laid up, but we like to spend a lot of time outdoors, and that includes some really unique hobbies, I should say. We're beekeepers. We keep honeybees. This year, we have been foraging for mushrooms. We've identified over 100 different mushrooms in our area. So when I say outdoors, we do spend an enormous amount of time outdoors, and that's really what we love doing. And I'm thankful that my kids enjoy doing that with me. And especially with this era of social distancing, it gives us the opportunity to stay active and learn a lot about the world around us.
It does. What made you decide to join the ministry?
Well, yeah. So it was either that or be a farmer. So I thought I would go and instead do ministry with farmers. So
Okay.
the community of Oak Grove is unique in that it has a awesome
Yes,
blend of people that
it
are
does.
historical to this region. Grew up in the life of the church, to people who have moved in. Of course, reflective Cranberry community. Professionals, small business owners, professors, the former director of education for Pennsylvania is a member of Oak Grove. So I have a whole bunch of working class peoples that grew up in this region, and a lot of new people that have come into this community lately. And that juxtaposition has been a blessing, frankly, and been a really good thing for the people of Oak Grove and for my family. And I'm thankful for that and that partnership together. But yeah, I got called to ministry pretty young. I always felt like I would work in the church. I mean, just maybe my whole life at some level, I was going to work in the church. I didn't know what that would be until I went to undergraduate. I went to a small undergraduate in the Seattle area, and there, a Lutheran Bible Institute. And there I just felt the call to pursue ministry and just see where it went. And without a doubt, the Holy Spirit was working that process, because it's just opened doors and led me to this beautiful part of the world and these beautiful people, and an opportunity to serve in this community and make a difference in the community. And that's really all a person can never ask for, is the opportunity to do God's work in the world and make a difference in people's lives. And that has been a real opportunity here and a blessing. And I look forward to many years to come of that work. COVID go ahead.
No, sir, please go
You
ahead.
get me going. I can,
You're fine.
I could talk. COVID has changed a lot of the ways we do ministry, but ministry hasn't stopped, right? It's just adapted. It's just modified. And but the work of God is still very much out and about, and the world needs people to do God's work more than ever.
Oh, yes. Especially in the crazy times we're living in. There's so much heartache and anger in the world that we do need peace and a place to come and worship. Besides your regular church services, I know your church is involved in so many different things within the community, and you have some beautiful fall festival days. I know you've been very limited in the past couple months. I know you have a wonderful community garden that I participated in a few years back. Can you please tell us about all the different services that Oak Grove can offer somebody and their family?
Oh yeah, so there are a lot of opportunities to get involved in making a difference in the world through Oak Grove. I always challenge anybody who becomes part of the community to get involved and to make a difference. And that has led to a whole lot of startup ministries at Oak Grove.
Okay.
You named probably the biggest, and that's our community garden. We've got almost a whole acre dedicated to the community garden. Anybody is welcome to come and garden there, and people do from all around. People come and do that work. And then there's the option. I mean, you keep the produce for yourself, but you always end up with more than you need in the garden. And so we have a partnership with the Mental Health Association of Beaver County, and we have a produce drop-off every Monday for that work. And this year, even in the era of COVID, we were able to donate 2,500 pounds of fresh produce. I mean, this is straight from the garden.
That's
into
amazing.
That work, which they then turn around and make meals for people in that community right there in Beaver County. So that is one of the most substantial things we do year after year. But of course, we also got a call from them this year. They said, look, people are short on money. It looks like winter coats is something some of our community members are going to go without this year. And we said, we'll take care of it for you. So using Facebook, using our website, we put out there, we're collecting coats, and oh, holy cow, we filled the basement. with just bags of coats. People could clean out of all the things you can and can't do this year. You can clean out your closet this year.
Yes, you
and
can.
So people, went through and they pulled out coats they hadn't used for years and donated it, and we made sure that got to the right location. And then just partnerships in general. We've got a partnership with the Unionville Compassionate Ministries, which is down the road, Unionville Methodist Church. They have a food pantry that supports people with living with food insecurities in our area, and we have an ongoing partnership with them. I don't even know how many thousands of dollars our congregation members donate to that work, and then pounds and pounds of food to that work as well. Those are probably our two biggest, but there's always opportunities to get involved, with Christmas gifts to kids in poverty. Sometimes we work with congregations on the north side to address that, sometimes right here in our community. It's amazing the need right next door. And so we work to constantly partner with organizations right next door to do that work. And it's, it feels good to help people. It's also what we're called to do. And we take that seriously, but not too seriously. We have fun in the midst of it too.
Yes. And other services that you offer, do you have youth ministry services?
Yeah, so, right, yes. Obviously, we have worship service. I should name, worship is still the center of what we do as a community, to gather and give God the glory, to lift up the praise to Jesus. We do that, of course, every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. We do have an in-person option, but the vast majority of our community is virtual right now. And so you can tune in through our church website, our church Facebook page, or even my personal Facebook page. And we provide those services. In fact, I'm using a new audio sound system today to do this interview. And worship looks kind of like this on Sunday morning.
Sure. As long as you're worshiping, it doesn't matter if you're dressed to the nines, or if you're in sweatpants, or if you're in your living room, or if you're at church. As long as you're filling your heart.
Yeah, really right. And it's worship can be central to a person's week. I mean, it can just be so life-giving, and that's the experience a lot of people have at Oak Grove. And whether it's at Oak Grove, frankly, or any community, I would strongly encourage, if you're moving new into the area, find yourself a community of faith where you can be spiritually fed and engage the world around you, where you can be lifted up and called out to serve and engage. And I think people have found that at Oak Grove, even during COVID, and they found that in the virtual services, even during COVID, and that's been a blessing. And we continue, of course. We had youth group with I got to get my days right. Just yesterday, that was Sunday afternoon, we did youth group, and because of just my outdoorsy nature, we were outdoors. We had a campfire. Some of the kids brought chicken nuggets, and they roasted chicken nuggets over the campfire, and used a Dutch oven to cook a big batch of chili. And so they had chili, roasted chicken nuggets, and cake. Of course, some kids brought s'mores. And then we played a game of croquet, And then, of course, Bible study, engage that faith formation in the midst of that too, while having fun. But it was a great experience. So we continue to do things like that, not as often as we did pre-COVID, but occasionally making sure that there are in-person opportunities in addition to the virtual opportunities. Every Sunday after worship, there's a virtual option for kids to participate safely in a virtual arena. We've created a private group where kids can go and do that.
Fantastic. Well, Pastor Nathaneil Christman, it has been a pleasure to speak with you today. And after this interview, I will post in the comments Oak Grove Lutheran Church website. And if anybody's interested, I'm sure you can go as a guest. It's a very opening church. Everybody there is so welcome. It was a pleasure speaking with you today. And it's been a pleasure working with you for all these past years. You and your administrative staff are just a lovely, lovely group of people. And it's a quaint, small, community-based church, because some churches are just so big you could get lost in the shuffle. but that will certainly not happen in Oak Grove. So again, Pastor Christman, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you, Tracy. Blessings to you. Take care.
Blessings to you. And everybody, again, this is Tracy Armstrong, owner of North Pittsburgh Greeting Company. There is Welcome Wagon, the key to making the first impression.